Hello friends and welcome to my DIY channel. I'm Heidi Somble, and in today's episode we're going to be doing 5 before and after so fun farmhouse fall thrift flips. Friends, I love a good thrift flip. I love that we can take something that has been forgotten and set aside and turn it into something brand new and beautiful for the fall season. Alright, now let's get crafting. This DIY is so much fun to make, and I hope you all give it a try for the fall season. Start by picking up a metal round tin plate from your thrift stores. I got this one for 50 cents because I always get stuff that's half off at the thrift stores. Go ahead and remove the sticker from it and take it outside and spray paint it a beautiful pumpkin orange. Once that's dried and set aside, we're going to take some drop cloth. I just picked mine up from the local home improvement stores. I get a huge pack of it and it's super affordable. I think mine's like $9. My drop cloth lasts forever and I use it all the time here in my craft room, and it just has that beautiful farmhouse look to it. So go ahead and cut some little snips and then rip the fabric down to create some thinner strips. Now I'm going to be using this little toothbrush. Friends, this is one of my oldest craft tools. I think this thing is like 15, 16 years old. It's from a dentist appointment I took my oldest son to when he was a little boy. It's a kid's toothbrush. I love using it for speckling on paint because I wanted to get that nutmeg look that you see on a pie, a pumpkin pie, when you see it come out of the oven. So I went ahead and sprinkled some of that on, and now I'm going to start gluing on some of those strips that we ripped up earlier from the drop cloth. Cut it down to size, add a line of glue, and then just tap that right into place. We are now working on the top crust for our pie, and you can honestly do whatever pattern you want, but I loved this crisscross pattern on the top of my pumpkin pie design here. And now this is where it really comes to life. With a thicker strip of fabric, I think mine was probably about 1.5 inches to 2 inches thick, I'm gonna lay some glue down, and then as I'm putting on that fabric, I'm gonna pinch it like you would pie crust around the pie tin. And you're just gonna go all the way around. And when you get to a point where you run out of fabric, because the strip's not long enough, you just simply put down more glue, line it up, and keep going. So I'm gonna go all the way around the whole pie tin, and it is so adorable at this point. But then I thought, you know what? I wanna be able to hang this up on my pantry door in my kitchen. And I remembered that the Dollar Tree right now has out these darling rolling pin signs. I ran and got it out of my craft closet that I was holding on to, and I put this right on the front of the sign with some E6000 and some hot glue, so it's really bound on there well. Hello pumpkin, isn't that so darling? Now at this point I'm going to take my crocodile, punch a couple of holes at the top so I can hang it up on my pantry door, and I'm just going to simply take one of these beaded wreaths that they have at the Dollar Tree. I cut it in half so that I can get it smaller for my sign. I'm going to bring it around, twist that wire in place, and then to really just clean up that look, I'm going to bring it back around to the front, glue down that pie crust we did earlier with the drop cloth, and at this point, we could stop here, but Heidi loves a good bow. I have never met a bow that I did not like. So I doubled up a couple different bows, I'm adding on a cute little button in the middle, and it's ready for my kitchen. When I saw this large sign at the thrift store, I got so excited because I knew exactly the stencil I wanted to use on it. Now I got this thing for 50 cents, which is already crazy because it's such a huge piece to work with. So I took it outside and I spray painted it a beautiful green color for the fall season, and because it's green I can use it for the Christmas season and even in spring. I love the green idea on this sign. Now this stencil is from Studio R12. I've been eyeing it and I thought it would be so cool if I could ever find a piece of wood large enough to do a massive clock that I can hang wreaths on. and put that up on a wall somewhere in my home. I thought it would be so beautiful. Just wait to the finished look. It's going to be so stunning when it's done. So I wanted to put down 2 coats of paint. I lifted it up gently, did some heat with my heat gun, and then I went back in with a second time doing the stencil. Now, this is the cool thing about this particular large stencil is that there's 2 parts of it. Then you just go ahead and line up the other for the bottom part of the clock, and then you continue on your stenciling journey. Once you're done steepling on all your paint and it looks beautiful, go ahead and get a hook. Figure out the size of wreath that would fit onto your form. I believe mine is a 12-inch wreath. I think that's what it is. It might actually be 10. I could be wrong on that. But just know whatever size you're going to get for your wood round and this clock stencil, figure out the wreath from there. Add a hook, and at this point, it's ready to be displayed in your home. I found these little cutie candle holders, and they were only 50 cents for the both of them because it was half off. So I had this cute idea. We could leave them like this, which they're really cute, but I felt like, I don't know, it needs a little more color for the fall. So I took them outside, I spray painted them this beautiful orange color. I will make sure to link all the spray paints that I use down below in the description box. And I figured out that I could put one of the battery operated lights from the Dollar Tree down inside, but it was a little wiggly in there. Don't ever let that discourage you. What you can do is you can get a piece of a foam sheet, and they sell these also at the Dollar Tree in the kids craft section. Get a foam sheet, cut it down, use some E6000, glue it around the sides of that end cap, and then that way when you go to put the batteries in it, it sits in there nicely without wiggling. You don't have any problems with it because these battery lights are a little bit thinner than a traditional candle. So I just used the E6000 in there for this exact purpose. And now I'm going to dress up this candle holder just a little bit more by adding some ribbon around that top part where it holds the candle. I'm going to go around with a tan, and then I'm going to come back in with this check green. I thought this was so pretty together with the orange. And that completes the look of this DIY. I hope you get a chance to find something like this in your thrift stores. How many times have you seen wood pieces like this at thrift stores or the Habitat for Humanity stores? Well, I picked one up and I thought, you know what? I'm going to give this thing a really pretty updated farmhouse look. So I took off that outdated lace that just honestly looked kind of dusty. I think this used to be one of those things where you have the windows between the kitchen and the living room or family room. I think this was one of those divider doors that was in there because it had some hinge stuff on it. So I went ahead and took it outside, spray painted it white, and now I'm going to add in some updated fabric to the back side of it. And I personally love a good, clean, finished job on projects because then it just makes it look more high-end. And it looks like it came from a store. So after I came in and I glued in my fabric, I'm going to use my rotary blade just to cut off the fabric to clean up all those lines so it's in there nice and snug and it's looking really clean and tidy. And then at this point, I went ahead and put on 2 handles onto the bottom part of this door frame. I thought this would be really pretty to add that black farmhouse detailing in there. Now I'm going to come in and rough up the sides just a little bit to give it that farmhouse flair, and then add a hook so I can put up any kind of sign or wreath that I want on it. Now, I saw this cornucopia art piece and I loved all of the detail of the fruit and the vegetables in the cornucopia basket, but I did not like the colors. It's just too dark for my home. I would never use these colors in my home, so it's just not my thing, you know? So I decided to take it outside and I spray painted it a tan taupey color. This brought it to life. It made it so much brighter. Now I wanted to keep that wood look to the basket, so I'm coming in with a dark brown that has a little bit of a burgundy undertone to it. I tapped the paint color down into the basket weaving, and then I used a wipey to wipe away the top surface because I want to use a lighter brown on the top to create that depth. Now at this point, once it was dry with my heat gun, I'm going to come in and very lightly with the tiniest bit of brown paint on my brush, lightly, and I emphasize lightly, I'm dry brushing on some of that brown depth in there with that tan. That's going to make everything start to rise and lift because you're going to have that tan in there with the brown. It's going to start bringing forward that color definition in the shapes and the sizes of these things in this basket. I'm also going to use some of the brown up on the basket on the part that I wiped it away so that it looks brown completed with the dark and the light. And now I'm coming in with some white paint and I am very lightly tapping the very tops of the fruits and the vegetables to bring forth the different dimensions on them. This is going to really make them bright and stand out. And then last, I'm just going to do a little bit more brown dry brushing and you've got a beautiful piece of artwork for the fall. The fall season is so much fun because all of the colors and the fun memories we have associated with it through baking and decorating and just being together with our loved ones. It is such a fun, great time of year to be crafting as well. I hope you felt inspired with these before and afters. Now remember, if you're not getting notifications for my channel, don't forget that if you go over to my channel and watch a couple of videos, that is going to stimulate the algorithm again to start recommending my videos to you in your lineup and in your feed that you see when you come here on YouTube. I want to thank you all so much for being here today. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And in this video, I'm going to recommend a couple of videos right here that might interest you, because if you liked this one, you might like one of these as well. And until the next episode, bye friends.